Coming up this week on Let's Chat with Kat and Pat. Kat and Pat confirm they have bought their wedding rings. They talk about the Celtics and their quest for Banner 18. Not to mention Kat's love. I mean, when I say love, I mean love of little Peyton Pritchard. And finally, did Kat accidentally have phone sex with a stranger? All that and more coming up. It is week 12 of Let's Chat with Kat and Pat, Patrick Gilroy, alongside Katrina Patiri, here talking to you guys about life and about stuff and about the things that we do to get us through the day, through the week, through the month, and through it all, embrace one another and embrace the life that we've continued to decide that this is what's happening for us. This is what works for us, and we thank you all that have come along for the ride through the first 11 weeks. We will continue to bring this podcast to you for as long as I think we possibly can, right? Like, that's the idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's penciled in every week, so we're here for the long haul.
We are here.
I did the auto repeat.
We're here for the long haul. And as of right now, last month we went out and we bought wedding rings that we will give to each other in January.
That we get to pick up on May the 4th be with you.
Very exciting. Very exciting. And you're wearing, of course, your engagement ring that you got last year. So as long as you and I are in this for the long haul, then the podcast is here. If the podcast suddenly disappears, it means things went horribly, horribly wrong. And you should,
or one of us is missing.
You should probably
we didn't
check
make
in.
it back from vacation. Our door came off on the airplane.
Find us on Twitter at Kat and Pat Chat, because something has gone wrong with one of us or the relationship, or something has gone catastrophically wrong. But until then, we'll be here with you guys each and every week talking about the stuff that helps us get through the day, through the week, through the month, and through life. Now, I got to tell you, I am excited, Katrina, because we are 4 days away from going on a mini vacation. We're going on a mini vacation, not just with us, though. We're bringing a 13-year-old boy. And I know we're going to talk about funny stuff today, but I wanted to hit off the top with this because you gave me a chuckle the moment we woke up this morning. Like, within minutes of waking up, you have your phone in your hand, and you have the weather app on. And why don't you tell me what you saw on the weather app?
It's going to rain the 3 pool days that we have there.
What is it doing until we get there?
Oh, it's beautiful in high 80s.
Yeah, so we're going to Myrtle Beach, and it's a little premature for prime Myrtle Beach weather. But if you get lucky, you can get weather in the high 70s to mid 80s this time of the year.
Like, even high 60s I would take. Can we just stop with the rain?
Well, I mean, officially here in New England, we have transitioned. We live in Seattle now. We say that every day, and it's 1,000% right. Like, it's almost shocking. Yesterday, Sunday, we woke up, and the first thing I said to you and to Connor, I walk upstairs and I say, oh my God, what's happening outside? Because the sun was shining for the first time in forever. Now, by the end of the day, it was raining on me.
And it wasn't supposed to.
No, but at least at the start of the day, we got some sunshine. And I got to tell you that I kind of chuckled on the inside today when you had the weather app out. I'm like, of course, we're going to be there.
I'm trying to chase the sun.
Have to find things to do that are indoors, keep the kid happy, try not to have a meltdown, try to have a decent vacation, and a little bit of sunshine goes a long way in that regard.
You got beach, you got pool, you got hot tub, and then you got boardwalk, you got rides at the boardwalk.
But you have none of those things in the rain.
In the rain. Even their mall is outdoor.
All right. So in the rain, you've got the hotel. Thankfully, it's not a regular hotel. It's more like a condo, a villa. Yeah. So at least we'll have our own space. But keep your fingers crossed that the weathermen got this one wrong.
Well, I found the Dave & Buster's, and there's another arcade thing. I don't know. I have a whole bunch of notes on my phone for option B, option C, option D.
Option A, can I just say this?
I just want pool and beach.
I know you want pool and beach, and that's important to me too. But option A, let's not forget what's important here. Option A is game one of the playoffs is Sunday.
Oh, yes.
I don't know what time the playoffs start. The NBA has not released the schedule yet because the play-in tournament has to come and go. So it starts on Wednesday. It ends Friday night. Once all the games have concluded Friday night, we will know who the Celtics' first-round opponent is. All we do know is that they are playing on Sunday. Could be 12, could be 3, could be 7.
But we have a plan. We have a travel Roku.
A what Roku?
A travel Roku.
A travel?
Yes, I know. My job.
Rhymes with shovel?
Yes, there you go. So we have a travel Roku.
We do.
And I have a hotspot. So no matter where we are.
Tell me more about your hotspot, Katrina.
Oh, stop it.
No, I want to know.
It's work provided.
What makes it work?
Verizon.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's not the answer I was looking for. How can you tell it's been a long month? Mm-hmm. The answer is Verizon.
Can you hear me now?
That was well played.
Hey, I got options for you.
But we're only gone for it's a mini vacation.
We're 5 days total.
And we're going to miss the first 2 games of the playoffs.
Well, but we got the travel Roku in the hotspot.
We do. So hopefully we get to watch them on something larger than my iPhone 13 mini.
We'll be able to do that, and I packed microwave popcorn, so I can make it festive.
I know you'll make it festive. I know you'll make it fun. But the games will be at home, and we just got through, and we're not going to make this a Celtics podcast.
Well, hold on. Every time we go to Vistana, we end up finding other New England fans, so what we should do is get out there and see if we know anybody who might also be wearing Celtics gear proudly. And then we've got the Roku.
Well, you did the packing.
Hotspot.
So did you pack our Celtics jerseys?
Well, I haven't packed you yet. I packed the Celtics suitcase.
No, but did you pack your Peyton Pritchard jersey?
No, and I just hung up your 3 jerseys, so I need to pull the jerseys out.
Did you pack your Daniel Tice jersey?
Well, no.
Fall in love with a girl who says to you, I want a Celtics jersey in 2023, and I want that jersey to be Daniel Tice. And then
I like the heart of the team.
Find the same girl. Find the same girl that says the next year, in 2024, I want another Celtics jersey. Mm-hmm. I want it to be Peyton Pritchard. And marry that girl, love that girl. Because you're talking about Daniel Tice and Peyton Pritchard combined. Maybe they've sold 12 jerseys, and 10 have been to their family members. And we've got one of each in this house.
What has their heart and commitment look like to the Celtics?
Oh my God, it's amazing. I get it.
I'm sorry, but they need appreciation too. It can't always all go to the stars. There's an entire team there. And I love how much Pritchard has been able to play, been on the court. He was doing interviews last week. I'm like a proud mama bear.
You should be. He's ended the season in spectacular fashion. He has broken all kinds of not just Celtics records, but NBA records with the increased amount of playing time over the last couple of games. And he has proven to be somebody that the Celtics can depend on, Katrina, but more importantly, he's here for the long haul. He signed a 4-year extension last year that kicks in next year. It's 4 years at $30 million for the totality of the deal. This guy is going to be around for a long time, and he's going to be a big contributor in their backcourt for a long time. I just think it's hilarious because every time we go to a game and you wear one of those jerseys, people have questions. It gets attention. Where the hell did you get a Peyton Pritchard jersey? And the truth is, the answer is China.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say that.
But I'm going to guarantee that next year we can buy a legit one.
I'm sure we can after the performances that he has had.
But I will have one of the first ones.
And I'll probably rock my old school Larry Bird jersey, but I do enjoy rocking my Horford jersey. And there's something to be said for a couple.
Well, we have his and her Horford jerseys because he also has such a heart and commitment to the team.
And he embodies what this team is all about.
He is so much the heart.
But if we're doing matching Horford jerseys in Myrtle Beach before game 1 of the playoffs, if you want to find another couple or family that is interested in the Celtics game, that is the attention getter. You don't have to go out there with a sign or be verbal about anything. If we're rocking those jerseys at 3 o'clock by a pool and tip-offs at 7, I promise you multiple people will ask us, are you from Boston and where are you watching the game?
Well, it happened in the Bahamas. Yeah, and we had the answer. We weren't watching it in the hotel room, but we had the answer.
But it wasn't even the playoffs.
No, it was we just again, my customer service face, and if we have the Celtics gear, we will find friends to make it an event.
In the Bahamas, it wasn't so much the customer service face as it was the bikini. The bikini attracts attention. It does. I like it. Don't
Well,
turn.
I was wearing the Celtics jersey as a beach cover
It
up.
was, and it looked great on you. It looked great on you. But I am excited about the playoffs. This is the time of year where 16 wins. That's all. They've won 64 games this year. I need 16 more. 16 wins equals championship. And after watching everything that happened last night with Mike Gorman yesterday and him having his final regular season game, luckily he'll call the first round of the playoffs, so it's not an official goodbye yet. But when he had his half-court conversation at halftime with Brian Scalabrine, it could have ended very awkwardly. But instead, Mike, being the master of the microphone that he is, he turned to the team when Scal said, "Do you have any final words?"
And said, "Let's win this."
Yeah, he said, turn to the team. He goes, "My final words are for the players. Go out there and win this thing." And that is everything that you need to know about why this town, this city, this region all fell in love with Mike, because he's from here. He's a fan first. And even in the moment where it's all about celebrating him and it is 43 years of being a member of this team and being the voice of the team, he still was humble enough to make it about being a fan and make it about the players and their accomplishments. And that is something that we'll probably never see again in the media. I wrote something on Twitter yesterday about Mike Gorman, and I said, a long time ago when I was new, being somebody covering the Celtics in the city of Boston, it was wildly intimidating going to the Garden and being surrounded by the players and the media that you grew up watching and idolizing. And it's a room full of attitude and ego. And Mike was there with a welcoming voice and a helping hand, and he was generous with his time. And those guys just don't exist anymore. And
kindness doesn't go that far anymore.
It doesn't.
It's unfortunate.
It doesn't. And it says a lot more about us as a society now. And sure, we've come a long way in so many regards, but one way in which we have failed is it's no longer about helping the next generation up, lending a helping hand, giving an encouraging word, because people can't be bothered if it doesn't have anything to do with benefiting them at that particular
Everything
time.
becomes a competition, and it's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
You can't just work and go along to get along with somebody at work to help them so that it makes life at work easier without somebody thinking you have an ulterior motive. And it's really sad.
But it is episode 12 of Let's Chat with Cat and Pat, Patrick Gilroy.
And we're going to be the kind people taking a nod from Mike Gorman. If we see you in Myrtle Beach and you happen to be staying where we are, we're inviting you to be able to watch the game on our travel Roku and hotspot.
We are going to have the game on. There's no doubt about that. And if people want to join us, they are welcome to join.
Well, with how loud you cheer, we just need to include other people or we're going to get noise complaints.
They're gonna be like, hey, what are you guys doing in there? We're Celtics fans. What does that mean? We're in Myrtle Beach.
We're from Boston. Get over it.
It is what it is. But when I realized that we were going to be traveling and the first round of the playoffs was going to be going on, I was like, we have to travel prepared. And you're so great. You were like, yeah, I already knew that. I'm already prepared.
Done.
Done and done. And that, my friends, is the key to a very successful relationship. Find a girl that checks that box before you bring the box to her, because those people don't really exist anymore. It is episode 12 of Let's Chat with Cat and Pat. And there was our Celtics rant. We said we were going to do it.
Little snippet. It's the playoffs. We're excited.
Well, I mean, not for nothing. We're about 55 minutes away from tip-off for the main
Celtics, whom I met on a business trip. They were staying at the same hotel. We had no internet. Everyone was in the lobby trying to get internet. And I was on the elevator with several of them. Had no idea I even made a joke to the head coach until I looked it up afterwards.
She calls me and she's like, I think I'm with the Maine Celtics.
Yeah. I was hanging out with the wives, getting wine after having an awkward dinner with my team.
But who Kata is and J.D. Davidson and Drew Peterson. You know who these guys are now.
Those were the guys that were in the elevator. But then when I came down to go to dinner and they were all also sitting there to go to dinner, I was like, this is who I saw. This is who I met. It's hard to miss a 7-foot guy.
But I'm going to watch that game. We're going to watch that game because if they win tonight, they win the G League championship. And as twisted as it is, 3 of those guys that I just mentioned were on the floor yesterday for the Celtics.
Well, and the game on, what was that, Friday last week, they were on the field too.
So we got to know who they are. And look, maybe it's a precursor. Maybe it is good vibes. Maybe whatever it is. But I do know that I love the fact that this team gets along so much that Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard, Al Horford,
They
Joe
celebrate
Mazzulla.
it.
They're all going to be there in Maine tonight, hoping to celebrate the Maine Celtics winning the championship for the G League. And I feel like that can only help this team as they begin their quest to winning their 18th championship. Right?
Well, that's their bench talent, and those are the next future Boston Celtics.
But we didn't set out tonight to have a Celtics podcast. But we have to. But, we write these notes throughout the week. What are we going to talk about? What are we going to do? And I don't know if we should start or finish with the phone call that you got today.
Oh, good God. That was just like a step in dog poo situation.
I think that's a good finisher, right?
Okay.
I think we end the show on a very high note.
Yeah.
Where we all get to laugh at you because you got played.
They're all gonna laugh at me.
Yeah, you got played in such a remarkable way, and you were still trying to defend it as I was reading the comments from everybody else that got played. You're like, yeah, maybe not, no, but maybe so. So we'll talk about that coming up in a little while in the program. But we did want to talk about just funny moments, things that made us laugh, things that helped bring us together, because you can't have an ego in this type of relationship. You can't do it. Like, you can't get embarrassed by these things, and you just have to be able to laugh about it. And when it comes up again, continue to laugh about it and laugh at yourselves. Like, that's the only way to do it. But you've got the notes over there. So, like, which one? There's 3 or 4 good ones.
I think you need to start off with the first one, that for like a week you were sweating when we first started dating, and then you asked a difficult question.
Oh, the pink thing?
The pink thing.
Okay. So, like, Jesus Christ.
This is great.
This is awful. So I'm coming off 14 years of being married to somebody that I wasn't attracted to, and we had no sex life. None. Like, I proved that to you the first time we had sex, right? Like, I was a virgin, a rookie, all over again. We said it on episode 4 or 5. 2 Pump Chump would have been heroic the first time. So there was no doubt in your mind over how excited I was to be with you. It was clear in every part of me. It was clear. But I was also excited to be with you because you get into it, and
well, you seemed happy that I was excited.
Right. So, like, you get into it, and I mean, like, you get wet, okay? You get very wet.
Yeah, we're sharing these details.
Yeah,
okay.
but
I know, but it's funny. Get to the
without the details.
Part.
Without the details, it's not funny. You get wet, so it is what it is. But I was enjoying this. I'm like, holy shit, this is what sex is supposed to be like. This is great. I never want to let this go. And I'm feeling good about myself because I'm thinking I'm the one that made her this way. Like, I'm pumping up my chest, and I'm like, my ego's feeling good. And I'm sleeping over your house, or whatever. Maybe I was leaving at 2 a.m. I don't know. But I find on your carpet, like, embedded into the carpet, I found a little pink pill. So I pick it up and I Google it, and, with the descriptions and the letters and the numbers, and it comes up as 2 things. One of the things is very innocent. One of the things is out of China, but it's female Viagra, and I am devastated. I'm like, holy shit, I have been tricked. She is not that wet for me. This is not about me. This is not the building block of our relationship that I think it is. This is not going to last. This chick is popping a pink pill that says female Viagra before I show up for our appointment sex, because I would show up, the kids would fall asleep, I'd show up for 3 hours and come home.
I was also getting home from work at like 10 o'clock.
We had to make it work.
Retail, like, our schedules were nuts.
We had to make it work.
But
I'm picturing you on your ride home. All right, bottle of water there, and popping a pink pill.
So for 3 days, he's like awkward and weird. And I was like, what is the issue? Like, what is the problem? And then we have to talk about something.
Yeah, I wanted to know. Not that I object to you taking the female Viagra. I just wanted to know if there was an underlying problem, if you weren't able to get excited for me. So you felt like, because at this point, like, I fell fast and I fell hard, and I didn't want to fall anymore at that stage. If you were already, a month into this thing, having to pop a pill to get through having sex with me.
Where's the future?
Right, exactly.
Right.
Like, this is not going to work.
So in a whole bunch of awkward and uncomfortableness, you blurt out, "Are you taking female Viagra?" And I was like in shock and awe and didn't even know it existed.
It doesn't really exist. The FDA hasn't approved it.
Well, like, I have no idea. And I was like, no, like, why would you ask that? And you're like, well, I found this pink pill and I looked it up and with the lettering and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, well, like, if we really want to get into it, I have serious allergies. And if I eat anything with onions, I need to go to bed with a Benadryl.
But it wasn't Benadryl.
And I was like, but Benadryl's expensive and I'm on a budget. So I'm buying the dollar store's version of the Ghetto Fabulous Benadryl. Here's the bottle. And lo and behold,
it was Dollar Tree's version of Benadryl. Okay, it wasn't female Viagra. It didn't come from China.
No.
Or maybe it did, but whatever. But she had the bottle as evidence, and then when I looked it up online, again...
The second option is Dollar Tree generic Benadryl.
Antihistamine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so embarrassed. And...
I've never let him live it down. And so, like, every time I have to, like, take a Benadryl, like, we go out to eat and there's a chance that onion might be in it. I have, like, salsa because I love it, but it kills me. I have to take one. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, I'm taking my female Viagra. It's like that inside joke that we have.
Right. And instead of me thinking I'm getting laid because she's taking her female Viagra,
it means
she's
in 20 minutes
asleep.
I'm passing out.
She can't feel her legs, and then she's falling asleep.
And I can breathe properly and not snore for your slumber pleasure.
Oh, please. I thought the female Viagra was for my pleasure. Okay, I really did.
No.
Turns out the dollar store Benadryl is for my pleasure.
To not hear me snore.
Right,
Yeah.
but that's like a month in.
Yeah.
And it's still a story that I think carries the day. It's a story we're going to tell.
When we're like 70.
Yeah, it's a good one. But we have others.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's others. So you had me lead off. So, like, what do you have? Something, because I know you do. It's not just going to be about you and your female Viagra, because it's still, every time I say female Viagra,
Yeah.
I feel like a little dirty. I don't feel...
Well, we let off with the Celtics. Should we just talk about, like, the first time we took Connor together to a playoff Celtics game?
Oh, we took Caitlin and Connor. Do you want to get into the whole story?
Oh, God.
We took a 13, 14-year-old Caitlin, right,
Mm-hmm.
who is just getting to know her developing female body, and
was hiding all sorts of inappropriateness, cutting up one of my Celtics shirts, and
we get there, and there's
and the jacket comes off, and oh my God.
and there's a group of men standing behind me. I'm trying to be into a playoff game, and there's men behind me, literally oogling my daughter and talking about her out loud. So I'm somewhere between wanting to punch these guys and wanting to, like, take her and throw my coat over her and get the fuck out of the garden during a playoff game.
She refused to wear.
That was ugly enough. But we did turn the day around.
We did.
Because this was Kyrie Irving's first time back in Boston with the Brooklyn Nets against the Celtics in the playoffs. So this is 2022, and the Celtics are playing the Nets in the first round. This is the Nets team that had Kyrie coming off his ugly departure with the Celtics, saying, he wants to resign here and be here forever. He's got that commercial with his father at the being on the garden floor, and this is his dream come true. And I'm gonna at the
he's got his Nike sneakers for sale at the outlet for like $9.99, and no one's even buying them. There's like 70 pairs. They can't get rid of them.
Can't get rid of them. But this fool, he told the Celtics season ticket holders going into that season, I'm gonna re-sign here and I want to be here forever. Bullshit. The guy is the biggest fraud in the league. But regardless, so he's back in Boston with the Brooklyn Nets alongside equally deplorable Kevin Durant and James Harden. Okay, so it's a team that is wildly talented, but they are easy to hate. Like, great talent, all Hall of Fame talent, easy to hate. And the Celtics are favored. The Brooklyn Nets were sort of up and down that year, but most of the major pundits out there, national pundits, actually picked the Nets to beat the Celtics because they expected Kyrie, Kevin Durant, and James Harden to step it up in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So this was a very close game. I think the Celtics wound up winning game 1 by 1 point. Yeah. But in the second half, the fuck Kyrie chants start in the crowd. And this is why going to a game in Boston is like...
It's like epic.
There's no other place on the planet that is like going to Boston. You go to a game in the Garden, in the playoffs, the atmosphere is something else. The Let's Go Celtics chants start an hour before tip-off.
Every seat is filled.
It's unreal. And the amount of adrenaline that you feel as a fan is, I mean, my hair is standing up on my arm talking about it. I can't imagine what it feels like as a player. But when the fuck Kyrie chants start, Connor at the time, so he's going to be 14 in November, so he was 10?
He was 10.
He was 10. He turns around and he's so polite. He's like, is it okay if
With the biggest smile on his face. Is it okay if I contribute to the chanting? And say fuck Kyrie and hit the window.
So we're upstairs, like at level 9, it's called the Rafters, and it overlooks the entire stadium. So instead of being pushed back like the balcony is, you're above the balcony, but you're like on top of the action, and you're so on top they have to put plexiglass in front of you. Otherwise you risk falling downward and dying. So it's almost like what the hockey rink would be like if you're sitting in the first row against the ice.
Yeah.
So the fans up there are screaming fuck Kyrie and banging it against the glass, making it like a musical tune. It was awesome. And when he ever turned around and he looked at both of us and he said, is it okay if I join in on the fuck Kyrie chants?
Yeah, do I have permission to swear?
It's like, yes, you do.
It was one of the proudest moments that we gave permission to swear ever.
Yes, you do.
But our favorite is, to this day, if we're sitting down and we're eating dinner or watching the Celtics game, he like looks over at us and goes, is this a game where I can swear?
Yeah. Because he doesn't like, he swears casually like a 13-and-a-half-year-old boy does, but he doesn't overdo it.
And we certainly don't let it happen at the dinner table.
Absolutely not.
And so, like, you know.
So it's a special occasion.
It's like a treat. Like, oh, I get to bash this player and say it where it's appropriate.
So he was one of 20,000 people, you know, letting it go. Fuck Kyrie, fuck Kyrie.
It was so excited.
And if you search the game on YouTube, you'll hear what I'm talking about. And for him to know that he's one of the 20,000 people chanting that means everything. And at that point, I think he realized not only were you there to stay, but you were also like cool stepmom.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you let him do it. But then you're also the first one that when he overdid it in the car ride home, you shut him the hell down.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, we're in the car. Nobody can hear you. Can you please stop?
Yep.
Like, we get it.
Yep. Kyrie can't hear you now.
Yeah.
So let it go.
Yeah.
We all agree, fuck Kyrie. We're all on the same page. But we're in the car. The Celtics won.
Yeah.
It's time to stop swearing.
Yeah.
Because if we let him keep going, he'll take it to school tomorrow.
Well, yeah, absolutely right. And that's never happened. But it's just like those moments that become inside jokes that kind of really formulate your relationship that you don't know are happening at the moment. And then they happen, and it's kind of awesome.
No, they are, because they're the things that you look back on. And it's crazy that the playoffs are starting again right now. And that was already, 2 years ago.
Right.
And he's a completely different kid right now than he was 2 years ago. He would still very much enjoy going to a game and saying, if it's the first round of the playoffs and they wind up against the Heat, fuck Jimmy Butler or fuck JB, whatever the chant is, and I would let him do it. All right? I will let him do that.
You set the precedent now.
Yeah, we can't, there's no going back.
Yes.
All right, so if he wants to go, he's not a big sports fan. Not a big professional sports fan. He likes to play football, likes to play basketball, but he doesn't enjoy sitting there for 2.5 hours and watching a game the way that we do yet. He'll get there. At his age, I didn't either. I loved the Celtics. But sitting for 2.5 hours for any kid that age is not an easy thing to do, especially when in the house, I feel like he'd be willing to sit with us and watch a game if we let him swear like that in the living room.
Let him swear like that, and especially when I make chicken wings.
It's an open invitation, But as the playoffs are about to start,
These are things we have to look forward to.
But it's fuck Kyrie season again.
And he'll be on vacation with us.
He will. But I don't know.
We'll definitely need to make friends when we're in Myrtle Beach.
I mean, if they're playing, I don't know who their opponent's going to be. As we record this on Monday night, their opponent has not been, it won't be decided till Friday. But if it's the Sixers
it's
it's Maxey, or if it's Joel Embiid and there's some sort of Embiid's a pussy chant, like, if he wants to go with it, I'm not going to say no. Like, he can do that. But the moment the game's over, the moment the playoffs are done, you have to shut that shit down. You have to. Because if you don't, that's when it's no longer a funny memory that we look back on.
Right.
It becomes like a trend. Example. Yeah, like then we're bad parents.
Yeah.
And that's a whole different podcast.
No, we just want to promote the Boston culture.
All right, so I got to say this. Pink Pill.
Yeah.
Great story. Fuck Kyrie, great story. We had one or two more that we were going to go with tonight, but you trumped them all after dinner tonight.
I did.
So we're not doing a terribly long show tonight. The goal was to be in and be out about 40 minutes. So we got 12 minutes left. And I have to give this story the time and attention that it properly deserves, because you, my love, are not a fool. You don't get played. You don't get tricked. You are generally very much a street smart person. And as you start sharing this story with me, it doesn't sound right. And I'm thinking to myself, something is amiss here. So I'm going to let you set it up, because I didn't take the phone call, so I can't properly set the atmosphere. Set the atmosphere for the listeners the same way that you did for me after dinner tonight, because this is something that I never thought you would get tricked by, and you so helped a man get off today, and it wasn't me.
Me too. So I'm now trying to be a real estate agent. So I have my full-time job, and on nights and weekends, I'm trying to get into real estate. So now when my phone rings and it's a number I don't recognize, it's likely it could be a potential new client. So I'm answering every single phone call willy-nilly. And I answered the call today. And it's this guy who introduces himself, don't remember what his name is, but says he's calling from Cosmopolitan Magazine.
The first clue there is magazine. This is 2024. How many people are calling from magazines in 2024?
And so he says, I'm calling from Cosmopolitan Magazine, and we're looking to find a way to captivate a new audience that used to be with us on social media. So I used to get Cosmopolitan Magazine. It was something I used to get with Rogers fundraisers for like $2, whatever.
Give her her best orgasm.
Bring on the airplane. You know, all I could think of is like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, the movie. It's like, you know, how do you come up with the topics yet still remain upbeat, right? So I'm like, okay, I'll answer the quick survey and the questions.
It wasn't just that. Your ego sort of kicked in. You're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be in Cosmo. They're gonna print my answers.
I'm like, I'll participate. It's not
Katrina
a political survey.
In
like,
New
sure,
Hampshire.
I'll
We're gonna
participate.
Print the answers. Yeah.
And so then, you know, it starts out, well, like, you know, how old are you? Like, have you been a member of you've had Cosmopolitan Magazine? What caused you to stop? Like, subscribing?
You guys went out of print? maybe that was your first answer you should have given?
Well, I don't know.
They no longer print the magazine?
Yeah, like, what state do you live in? You know, to get, like, the demographic stuff and all those things, like, added. Like, are you single? Are you married? Are you divorced? I'm engaged. Like, what's the longest relationship you've had? You know.
What'd you answer to that? I'm curious.
I said 5 years.
So who was that?
That was Mark. And then they said, and the like, are you currently in a relationship? And I said, yes. And they said, how long is that? And I said, 4 years.
I'm catching up, you fuck. That was to Mark, not to you.
Right,
I'm catching up.
So you're there. You're on the home stretch, honey. You're going to surpass.
You have told me that the 4 years you've been with me have been much happier. We've actually been a couple.
Well, I was trying to get divorced the last 2 of the 5, so that doesn't really count. Like, so happily together.
I've already surpassed that fool.
Happily together, you've surpassed.
See
yes.
that? I'm number one.
That wasn't how the question was asked.
I get it. You have to answer these questions the way that they were asked, because the questions get a little bit more provocative as they go along.
Well, so then it was like, you know, how many times a week, like, do you enjoy having sex, or do you prefer to have sex with your partner? And it starts getting a little inappropriate and uncomfortable for the questions. And at first I answer because I'm thinking it's Cosmo. And it is. It's like some of their surveys that you used to answer in the back of the magazine.
Every edition of Cosmo, somewhere on the cover, it would say, give her her best orgasm. Give him his best orgasm. Make her shake. Make him come 12 times. Like, that's how they sold it on magazine stands at the supermarket. So I understand why you thinking Cosmo would answer these questions. It's the next set of questions that really got me thinking.
Is your significant other well endowed? What does he find is your most attractive feature? Like, things that I'm uncomfortable to answer.
So let's be clear. Is your significant other well endowed?
I did say yes.
Damn straight I am. Do I have your average white dick?
Well, they didn't. They asked if it was average because they obviously don't know your demographic, but I said no.
And then was there a follow-up?
The follow-up was then, have you been with somebody who you would rate as having a small one?
And you said yes?
Yes.
Okay. There was no more talk about my dick, though, after that?
No. And then it went to, like, what do you think your significant other finds the most attractive? And so I said my eyes. And they said, well, if you're able to put a physical body part on there. And that's when I started to realize this is a really bad conversation.
He wanted to hear you say, my boobs, my vagina is just delectable.
I can't. And so then I was like, I'm really not comfortable answering that.
I want to talk more about my dick.
Oh, geez, I'm crow. Like, come on.
No, I mean, was there no more descriptive words used? Was it just, is he well endowed? Yes. And then, have you been with a small guy? Yes. That was it?
Right. Like, did you leave the small guy for the well endowed guy? No. And, like, is there, what was the other one?
Why'd you leave the small guy?
Like, isn't that
obvious? That's a good answer.
I mean, it was.
You are so red.
It was a series of really uncomfortable questions where I was just like, by the time it got to the fifth one, it's like, I don't know how many more different ways to say, I don't want to answer these questions. This has gone to a survey that's taken like a left-hand turn I wasn't expecting.
So, as we're preparing for dinner tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure you're like, who have you talked to today? Like, meaning, have I talked to my son? Have I talked to any of our
anybody
friends?
Outside of work?
I booked a hair appointment. You know, I'm like getting caught up for the day, and then I'm like,
Hold on. What did I say about your hair appointment? What did I ask for?
Oh, you asked if I could reach out and find out if your hair could get dyed. And I did send a text, but I think she's with a client. So
it's fine. I have never professionally had my hair dyed, but now I'm 5 months removed from the hair transplant, and it's growing in well. Yeah. But it's also growing in white.
Right. That now that you can't wear a hat at a trade show, you're like, can I get it dyed? And
yeah, it's fine. I mean, we all have egos, and maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I just wanted to. You've got
an option. You want the option,
and you've got a hookup in that arena. So I just wanted to explore the hookup. But I love that you love me with my white beard and my salt and pepper hair, or salt and a little bit of pepper. Like, I don't know what you call it now. It's more salt than pepper. But you've never once asked me. You didn't ask me to do the hair transplant. You didn't ask me to ever get my hair dyed. Like, you love me just the way that I am. It's because I'm well endowed.
Oh, geez, I'm crow.
Well, it does help.
Well, no, it's because you're chivalrous and you answer the door, but then occasionally you get a little inappropriate and I need to reel you in. But, like, you can go out there and do yard work and fix something and do an oil change and actually hold down a job. Those things are a lot more attractive to me than whether or not your hair is dyed.
I can do all those things, but I just, if I'm going to do this trade show and can't wear a hat, or I can wear a hat, but I know it gets frowned upon, I kind of want to show up on day one without a hat. But if I can have a full head of hair that's colored, I feel like these people haven't seen my hair in years. I've been wearing a hat to the office. I've been wearing a hat with a suit for years. So,
what the sales pitch for you being able to
right,
close some deals?
Because it's really growing in now. So I just think it would be that much more impactful when I'm out there at a trade show that first time, for it to look, not only did it grow in full and grow in looking nice, it grew in colored. Like the magic, the magic of the Turkish hair transplant.
You can get your color back and a full head of hair. All 2 for 1.
2 for 1. So, anyways, you're telling me this story, and my first question is, well, did you Google the phone number? And you said no.
Well, I was too busy with work. I got 2 phones going on.
No, legitimately. So you got this call at like 1:34 today.
Yeah.
Right? So you're setting up for dinner at like 6:30, 6:45.
I moved on with my day.
But up until that point in the day, you legitimately thought for 6.5 hours that you were interviewed by Cosmopolitan magazine.
I did.
And there was never a second thought in your naive head that something was amiss here. So I didn't want to rain on her parade at all, because who am I to do that? All right, this is an exciting day. Cosmo wants my opinion. Cosmo went out of print years ago, but they want my opinion still, because they're coming back, baby.
On social media, they could.
So I say, did you Google the phone number? She says no. She brings her phone over to me because she knows my next move is to punch that number into my phone and Google it. And do you want to share some of the responses?
I got scammed.
No, it wasn't just that I got scammed. It was, this guy called me and he said he was from Cosmo. There's thousands of responses like this, not 1 or 2. There are thousands. And they go all the way back to like 2018. I think that's the year Cosmo went out of print. And the same guy is still running the same scam 6 years later. So he calls and he's like, hey, I'm Julian. I'm fancy and I'm from Cosmo. And you were hand selected
You were referred. Your number was referred to us as somebody
is
who'd be willing to participate.
Such a bullshit line. But
Yeah.
regardless, and you know why he got your number. I've said this to you before. It's in your signature line or an email, and you're a pretty girl, and it's easy to put it together. So this is evidence number one that I was right all those years ago, because he saw you, he Googled your name, he found your email, and in your signature line, there it is. But regardless, I am Julian, I'm from Cosmo, and you referred to me especially because you've got such great insight to these questions. So do you have a couple of minutes to answer them? And they start innocent enough. And then it turns into, is your man well endowed? What does he like about you sexually? He wants you to say, he likes to flick me and lick my nipples. Like, he wants you to say dirty things, because I'm reading these answers, and there are some women that are saying, well, when it started getting dirty, I realized, holy shit, I'm going down a bad road here.
Did.
I hung up. No, you didn't hang up. You answered the questions.
Well, no, I said I'm not comfortable answering those questions.
And then
another question, I'm like, I'm still not comfortable answering
I keep reading these answers, and then these women are like, I could tell he was masturbating in the background. And another woman's like, I heard a little something in the background.
That was not happening.
And this guy has been pulling, instead of calling 900 numbers or calling 800 numbers and putting in his credit card or going to OnlyFans and spending $9.99 a minute.
He's found a way to do it for free.
He's found a way to get free phone sex for years with this Cosmo scam. And I know that you would never cheat on me, despite the fact that you might pop a pink pill here and there, and that makes you super horny because it is pink Viagra for women. And not Benadryl.
Okay.
Right? So we're bookending the show. This is, I'm a professional radio person, so this is...
Let me do your thing.
So this is called bookending the show.
Okay.
Bringing it back to the beginning.
Okay.
Okay? So maybe today he thought that you popped the pink female Viagra just before he called you. And it was going to be the perfect time to have that conversation with you, Katrina, because he calls you, I'm from Cosmo, I'm fancy, I'm special, I'm going to put you in my magazine,
what
girl.
I should have said was, fuck Cosmo.
You should have said, I loved Cosmo in the 90s, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were bookending where we talked about the fuck Kyrie, fuck Cosmo.
Fuck Cosmo. I got you. I got you. But you know what? You just stole my thunder a little bit.
Not the professional radio host.
No, you're not, but you're getting really good really quickly. It took me 20 years to learn how to bookend. She's done it in fucking 12 shows. It's not fair. Not fair at all. So the long and the short of it is, you helped a guy jerk off today. And that guy's name is not Pat, not Patrick. It wasn't me. Okay? So.
Oh, is that going to be the song?
It wasn't. As a matter of fact.
Wasn't me?
Yeah, Shaggy. Shaggy, you're up.
That's going to be it.
But no, it wasn't me, and that's okay. The night is young. The Maine Celtics still have a championship to win.
Yes.
And if they do.
The G League.
If the Maine Celtics win the G League championship, I want you to take a pink pill and fall asleep. And don't snore so I can go to sleep. Mm-hmm. Okay? Because it's only Benadryl, honey. Mm-hmm. That's all it is.
I know. I did make jar sauce, which did have some onion.
Oh.
So I could use the Benadryl.
No, but I don't want you to do that because your lips get extra plump.
Mm-hmm. And then you won't see me all day tomorrow because I'll be working, you'll be working.
That's how you have a successful relationship, guys. All right, that'll do it for week number 12 with Let's Chat with Kat and Pat. Next week, I will guarantee there will be an episode of the show. I don't know if it'll be on time or a day or two late. And I don't know if it'll be the happy-go-lucky show that people have come to love. Vacationing, again, with a child for the first time since the last one went horribly wrong a couple of years ago. Fingers crossed that it goes well. If you don't hear from us by the end of next week, check in. Because...
throw up the white
flag?
The white flag. Something has gone terribly wrong.
Take a pink pill. It'll fix it all. My name is Patrick Gilroy. Her name is Katrina Patiri. Once again... It wasn't me. See ya.